So on my left here, we have our new parts. And we're probably gonna cut this so that I can open this. Alright, so one thing that my dad taught me, even when opening a box like this, and I'm pretty sure he wanted me to keep this on before we started the video, but he taught me that with these kinds of white straps here, they're actually pretty easy to take off. You can see from the front here that there's this little part where they meet. And from the front, it's pretty well glued. But when you turn it around, you can see that part of it peels off. So don't try to peel it from the front because your nail's gonna break, according to my dad. But peel it from the back, and you can see it comes off very easily. Wow, just I'm blown away by how many things a simple matter of experience can differentiate between people. Alright, so just get that last part here, and just wow. So originally I was going to use a knife to open these, but wow, that's cool. So you can just put this one aside. This is for the passenger side. I hope. I'm not sure which one's the passenger or driver's side. Let me see. It doesn't say. Okay. We're just gonna open this and hope that it's the driver's side. Alright, so even opening this box is easy. It's just staples. Just pry it out. And we're not sure which one's the driver's side or the passenger side because it doesn't say on the box. That's a bit weird, but hopefully this is the driver's side. Hold on. Let me see if this says anything. It doesn't say anything. Okay. Let's just take it out and compare it to see what it looks like. Alright, so immediately you notice that this little piece right here is sticking out on the opposite side of this piece. So that you can tell that this is the passenger side. So I'm just going to get the driver's side out real quick. We're going to cut it probably. So just pry it out. So let's see if this matches the driver's side. Alright, so let's take a look at this. They got the bolts. It looks like pretty much everything is the same. There might be some minor differences, and while doing the brake pad repair video on the Santa Fe, I noticed that even the minorest changes can be impactful. But like, you know, small things like these little bumps here. But I think all in all, we're good. Right, so if you couldn't tell already, this is an aftermarket part. So this part itself is manufactured by AM Auto Parts. I'm not sure if I got that right. And together, these parts, the passenger and driver side, were around $125 altogether. If you order it on Amazon, it's around $150. And maybe if you order it if you get it from some other company like maybe Advanced Auto Parts, you might get it for $100. But if you get it genuine from the actual dealer, this could cost you, at the cheapest, $225 per part. Or maybe at the most expensive, $250 per part. So to replace both the driver and the passenger side, it would be a $500 job. Alright, so the good thing about this part is actually that it has a, I just ripped the label. Okay, that doesn't matter. That it has an error indicator to indicate that this is the front. So I'm pretty sure we don't need this actually. Let's peel that off for now. What we're going to do is now we're in the installation process of this entire thing. So if this is too heavy, I'm going to get my dad to help me out. But what we're going to do is first we're going to finagle this back in. We're going to put the big bolt in here, in the top. And then we're going to put the 3 other bolts from the top. So let's hope this works for me. Speed up. Doesn't matter. Okay. I gotta prep myself up for this. And if I remember correctly, I took it out like this. We're going to sort of angle it in like this. Angle it upwards through there. And okay, so from here we need to angle it into the 3 holes. There we go. All right. I'm gonna tilt that back in. We couldn't showcase it on video, but we put the top 3 bolts in. We didn't tighten them, just so that I could hold the part temporarily while we figured out how to put it in. And my dad figured out sort of what you can do is, we're gonna angle this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this down. Hold on, I have to angle this correctly. I'm gonna push this down and then push in. And if we finagle it enough, it should be able to. So down, in. Alright, so like I said, all you have to do once you put the top bolts in and the bottom bolts in is just put your nuts in. And to be honest, we have to do this really fast because as you can see in the sky, it's getting very dark. You don't know this, but we actually spent like maybe 30 minutes trying to put this back on. It requires a lot of finagling, at least for us, and a lot of muscle, especially for my dad. Shout out to my dad. Please give him some love in the comments if you do. And I guess another way to look at it is that I guess that's why aftermarket parts are cheap. You know, $60 a piece compared to like $220 a piece. Maybe that's why. I mean, even if you buy a genuine part from used, maybe it's the same price, but just getting it in, that was an ordeal, especially for my dad. So like I said, give him some love in the comments. But anyway, we just put our nuts back on, put the top 3 bolts, and we should be done. Make sure that you clear up anything that you might have put up. We already put the bungee cord away. It looks like we didn't even need to use it, just hang down by itself. And I think that's it. We need to put the ABS line back and the brake line bolt back, and I think that's it. Alright, so now we're going to put the bolts on, the nuts on. And just note that the aftermarket nuts are 15mm, not 14mm, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to put it back on. Just going to do it by hand first. Probably going to fast forward this anyway. These are a bit hard to get on. Okay. Now this one. I don't even. Alright, so now that we are tightening these with the Milwaukee, we're not done actually, because we need to torque these with a torque bar. Alright, so we lost a few clips because my dad forgot to hit the record button, but that's alright. Basically what happened is we put the nuts back on, we tightened them as much as we could with the Milwaukee, but now we're going to use a torque wrench to get it to the right torque. And I think the manufacturer standard is 33 foot-pounds on the small bolts up here. So right here, we have it already set to 33 foot-pounds, and I think we already set that one to the right amount of torque, so we're just going to set this one to 33. Yeah, okay. So you should keep doing this until you hear a click. So you heard that click? That means that it's set to 33 foot-pounds. I just gotta make sure I set it to, yeah, it's 33 foot-pounds. And finally we're gonna do this last one. That's gonna be a bit hard. So we're gonna use an extension for it. Although I'm pretty sure you might be able to access it from here, but just to be safe. Just gotta make sure, okay, one more time. You can never be too careful. This is really scary, especially because the windshield is right there. So, you heard that click, which means that these 3 bolts are torqued correctly. I guess while we're here, we're going to put the cover back on. So, I'm not sure if there's an actual, well, okay, yeah. So the way that goes is that this little cutout should be facing towards the center of the dashboard. So, I'm going to just angle that in, and it should click in place. After that, we're going to, I guess we can put this back on. So all you have to do is just angle it, and angle these 3 notches into the thing, into the hole, and then just push it in. Simple. Now, after that, what's this called? We take this rubber thingy, I don't know what it's called, and then we just put it back on its ridges. There we go. I guess you could close the hood, but for right now, we're just going to go to the bottom. So now we're going to tighten the two big bolts and nuts. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Milwaukee to tighten the, actually I don't have it right now, the nuts. So I guess since we needed this ratchet wrench to keep it fixed while we took it out, I think we needed to put it back in. Right now I'm just going to try it while it's without the ratchet wrench, or any regular wrench. Let's see if it works. But in any case, we're still gonna... Okay, so if you don't hold it down, then it's gonna spin. Even with your hands, it still might spin. So we're just going to put this on. But keep in mind that, wait, actually let's tighten the other one. Keep in mind that even with this arrangement, you're still gonna have to torque it with a torque wrench. So the manufacturer standard for this is, I think, 67 foot-pounds. So we're just going to take our torque wrench that is set to 67 foot-pounds. Okay. Use the extension. We're not in much of a rush, but... Okay. So now that we have that done, time for a torque wrench. Yeah. Okay. Wrong socket. And this is set to 67 foot-pounds. Let me make sure it's the right way. Okay. Going to put this on, and we should do this until we hear the click. And wait, hold on. Oh yeah, okay. We're going to go down this time instead of up. Thanks, Alba. Is this the one I use? Alright, so my dad noticed that while I was doing this, that I was putting my hands like this. And I actually thought about it too, but don't put your hands like this if you're going to tighten the wrench, especially if you're working by yourself, because once you tighten it, this wrench will be too far down and it's probably going to be very difficult to get your hand out. And you might hurt your hand in the process. So just try to angle it in a way that you won't hurt your hands. Probably put this in the, maybe in the back. And that gives your hand a lot of clearance so you don't get squished. Okay, just making sure that the bolt doesn't turn. Oh, I guess I didn't. Oh. Oh. And I really don't want to break this. Alright, so my dad came in with much more of his wisdom, and he taught me that because this wrench is right here, it's not going to do anything. What we can do is we can use, especially if you're a teenager like me, you can have your wrench positioned like this, and you can use your body weight to actually, instead of pulling down, you can actually push from the top to torque it. And I don't think I want to push it again, because if I do push it again, it's gonna. Oh wait, okay. So if I just use my body weight, it's much easier to torque it right. So now we're going to do it on the bottom, and let's see if we can put that into practice. Alright, let's try this. Alright, probably a bad idea to do this, but if I put my knee here, you notice that it's gonna torque right. But if I don't put my knee here, I'm not going to demonstrate it, but what's going to happen is it's going to strip it, because you're putting more force on this. You're actually causing this to go downwards instead of this to rotate. That's just going to cause the nut to strip. So now that we have the nut torqued, both nuts torqued to 67 foot-pounds, we're going to end this off by, not end it yet, but we're going to end it off by putting the, where's the nuts? But we're going to put the ABS fastener back, I guess, while we're here. And that just goes in by pushing it. And I'm just going to search around for that nut. It's very hard in dim light. I must be blind. Oh my god, okay. That is just... that was very hard to find. I don't think I'd be able to find that if it was the dead night, but thankfully we found it. We're gonna take out this wrench right here. And we're just going to take the brake line bolt and wait. Where's the nut now? Okay, hopefully, I don't think it needs a nut. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to just put it in a bit by hand, and then we're going to tighten it with the Milwaukee. Okay, so now we're going to torque this brake line bolt. I'm not sure if it really needs torquing. It's around 16 foot-pounds. But we set this to 16, you know, just in case. I'm not really sure it's important. Hold on, let me tighten it a bit more. Okay. I don't think this is really important to torque this one. Alright, so finally, we got all the bolts on, except for the wheels. But, this was quite a journey. And I'm sorry if my video was very long, but, you know, my dad wanted to teach me how to do this. He wanted it to be an experience that I learned the tips and tricks, you know, get some of his wisdom, some of his experience. And really, I think it's very useful. He wanted me to learn how to organize the thought process of how we're going to put things in, how we're going to finagle them out. How to organize the tools, and maybe one day I'll grow up to be an engineer, or I mean, maybe one day I'll grow up to go to MIT, like my brother Zami, or maybe go to Stanford, like my sister Kaka. But I don't know what the future holds for me, but I'm pretty sure engineering is going to be a major part of it. Alright, so once we're done with this, we're going to close the car up, and we're going to reverse it back into the garage. And then I'm going to do a video on the passenger side for the front strut. And if you're interested in that, go check it out. But this is quite an ordeal, so we definitely can't do it outside in the dark, so we'll probably have to do it in the garage anyway. And my dad has to drive the car, so we definitely have to get it done tonight. So, I guess that's it. So, I'm Ayman. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look at videos on Ayman, especially the auto repair videos, especially the videos on the Honda Civic. We've done quite a lot. We've also done quite a lot of videos on the Prius back there. I think we did most of them in winter, but we're getting a lot of them released more recently. Let's see. And I think that's it. Oh, also, feel free to check out the passenger side strut. But it's been quite an ordeal, and I've said so many times in this video. I'm Ayman, and see you next time. Peace.